All right, so the subject of quants has a weightage of 10% in the syllabus. That is, out of 180 questions, you're going to expect 18 questions from this subject. This subject is sometimes confused with the mathematics by the students, but it is very different from the mathematics. It is not mathematics. It is about more of statistics and number analysis, which is the essential part of a financial report analysis. Financial reports are nothing but representative of the financial performance of the company. Like income statement talks about whether company has made profit or loss, and if profit, how much profit. Balance sheet talks about whether the company is able to pay the bills when they are due or not. That is something called as liquidity, solvency, etc. So basically, the financial reports identify the financial health of the company. As a financial analyst, you need to analyze those financial report and finalize or come to a conclusion whether this company is worth investing or worth avoiding. So you'll have your clients, and clients will ask you, shall I invest into TCS, or shall I invest into Infosys, or shall I invest into L&T? So as a CFA, you have to analyze the financial reports of TCS, Infosys, and L&T and come to a conclusion that which of the three company is a good investment for the client. And for that analysis of the financial reports of TCS, Infosys, and L&T, there will be a lot of numbers on the financial report. Be it kind of sales number, be it profit number, be it asset number, equity number. There will be a lot of numbers that will be there on the financial report. And as a chartered financial analyst, you will have to analyze those numbers. You have to analyze the trends of those numbers and then come to a conclusion that which company is better amongst all the three companies. So over there in the financial report analysis, you will be having a number crunching, and hence this topic of quants is there in the CFA to help you do that number crunching properly. So in the subject of quants, you're not going to have the algebra and the geometry and the integration and the derivatives and the limits, etc. You're going to have the number crunching related quants, which will help you eventually in three subjects. One is the financial reports analysis, which I just said. Second is something called as corporate finance. So this subject also going to help you out in the corporate finance. And third is something called as wealth management or portfolio management. So if you're going to manage the portfolio of the client, you have to decide whether to invest into stock market, whether to invest into bond market, whether to invest into currencies, derivatives. So which asset class is appropriate investment for the client? And for that, you will require the help of quants. So this subject is going to help you out in three quants. I'm sorry, corporate finance, portfolio management, and your financial report analysis. All right. This subject, as I said earlier, it has a weightage of 10%. That is 18 questions are expected from this subject. There's a common misconception among the student that there's a subject-wise cutoff. I repeat, there's a common misconception among the student that there's subject-wise cutoff. There is no subject-wise cutoff in the practical CFA exam. Out of total 180 marks, there would be a cutoff of something like around 110. There's no cutoff like 18 में से 10 लाना ही है. There's nothing like that. Okay, so you may get maybe 5 also in this subject, you may get 15 also in subject, doesn't matter. Or you may get 0 also, or you may get 18 out of 18 also, doesn't matter. What matters is whether you are able to go above that overall cutoff of something around 110. I'm saying something around 110 because CF Institute never discloses that. Prior to the exam, CF Institute never discloses that. Maybe they have some rationale that if they disclose the cutoff, then you will just prepare to clear the cutoff. Your intention will be, I just want to clear the cutoff. But if you don't know the cutoff, you will prepare thoroughly. That's probably their intention of never disclosing the cutoff. But based on my experience, I can say the cutoff is somewhere around 61-62% out of 180, which comes to around 110 marks. But I'm not saying that you should prepare for 110 marks. You should prepare for all 180 out of 180. But I'm just saying cutoff would be somewhere around 110 mark. Okay, and there's no subject-wise cutoff. Coming back to the quants, we have the reading number 6. Starting from the reading number 6, first 5 readings belongs to the ethics. So reading number 6 is from where the quants belongs to. So first one is called as time value of money, where will we see the compounding interest and the simple interest all part, the PNR, so simple interest and compound interest P into 1 plus R is to N. There's something called as continuously compounded interest also, which you might have seen if you have seen the foundation to math session, P into E raised to Rn. How many of you have not seen this P into E raised to Rn from the foundation to math session? Just raise hand, please. Just want to see. Don't worry, I'll keep your name confidential. Okay, so please see those foundation to math sessions so that you'll get to know like P and R, simple interest, P into 1 plus R raised to N, compounded interest, and similarly P into E raised to Rn, the continuously compounded interest. Okay. Lower end, guys, lower end. After like questions, then you can lower ends. Okay, the second chapter and the third chapter is the chapters we're going to start with. So second chapter is the most easiest chapter in the subject of the quants, which is called as statistics. And the third chapter is the most difficult, perceived to be difficult chapter in the subject of quants. It's called as probability. So stats and probability are like extreme ends, but they are connected to each other also. Stats the easiest, and the probability is the most difficult, considered to be, especially by whom? You can guess it. It will be considered to be the most difficult by the students from the commerce guys, and engineers would be finding it a little bit easy. So like in the subject of FRA, I request the commerce guys to keep, I mean, just have a little bit of a control, because the things would be a little bit easy for them. So sometimes the commerce students, when I'm teaching FRA, like inventory, I'm talking about raw materials, work in progress, account payable, they get ki sir itne slow kyun ja rahe? तो सर स्लो इसके लिए जा रहे हैं because science graduates and the engineering graduates, they have no clue about account payable and account receivable. So to tell them in a very basic language, I need to go slow, which could little bit irritate you ki sir why is going so slow. Similarly over here, in the case of the subject of cons, the engineers are going to find it very, very easy. So over here, I would request the engineering background or the science background students to have a little bit of patience, because I will be going very slow. It could irritate you, but I am going to go very slow for two reasons. One is the commerce students, some of them might have left mathematics in the 11th and the 12th standard, so they may have a little bit of phobia about this subject. So I would be going very slow so that they will be able to have a full clarity about this subject. All right, and that's what you are gonna see in today's lecture also. And the second thing why I'm gonna go a little slow is because over here we have a new instrument to use, which is called as our financial calculator. Although we have seen how to use a financial calculator, the basics, not basic actually, we have 3 sessions on the foundation to maths where we have taught you how to use the financial calculator, but still at every point of time I'm going to go slow when it comes to financial calculator. At any point of time, if you do not understand a particular step, there's a button of raise hand on your screen. You need to raise hand. Okay. After you raise hand, immediately I'll not give you the audio access because I will be covering certain concept. So after that concept is done, then I'll give you audio access. Till that time, you keep raising hand so that I'll get to know, let's say Abhishek or Stuti or Mohit or Aditya may have some doubts. So keep raising hand till that time. I give you the audio access, and once your doubt is solved, you can lower your hand. Okay, so stats, the most easiest, the probability, the most difficult. Most difficult in terms of the syllabus of quants. I'm not saying it's going to be like impossible to do it or something like that. The reason why the probability is not that difficult as you might be thinking is because I had mentioned it earlier also, because the 11th and 12th standard probability, which probably you might have faced with a lot of difficulty, was related to the cards, was related to the dice, was related to the toss of coin. So coin, dice, cards, king, diamond card, etc. That stupidity is no more there. So this is the probability related to the real world. What is the probability of lockdown? What is the probability of economy going through recession? So all the real world probabilities would be considered. So you'll have a little bit of reference to it, so which will be a little bit easy. Next chapter is called as the distribution chapter, which is going to be one of the manageable topics, not that difficult. Something called a Z table and T table, which initially you may find key this is like you may have a phobia key, this is like quite difficult, Z table, T table, etc. But they are very, 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 very easy to handle. Next chapter called as sampling, again one of the easiest chapter. And uske baad wala chapter is called as hypothesis testing, which is going to be a little bit of a tricky chapter, even trickier than maybe even probability. So these are the syllabus of your cons. I'll repeat: time value of money, which is simple interest rate, compound interest rate, and continuously compounded interest rate. Very easy topic. Very, very, very easy topic. Reading number 7, statistics, also one of the easy. And I'm going to combine that with the probability, which is reading number 8, which is little slightly tricky topic. Reading number 9, distribution, again very easy. Reading number, but at this point of time, if I talk about Z, T, some of you may have a phobia that Z table, T table are a little tricky. How many of you feel Z table, T table are a little tricky? Raise hand. Okay, not many. How many feel probability is tricky? How many feel probability is tricky? Okay, fine. So as I expected, okay. And next chapter, sampling is going to be quite easy, and hypothesis testing slightly on the difficult side. There's a lot of things to remember in that. Overall, all these chapters come for a weightage of 10%. That is 18 questions out of 180 questions will be coming from this chapter. There's a use of this subject. There's a use of financial calculator, which is absolutely essential for today's lecture also. So if you do not have a financial calculator, you need to download the financial calculator app on your mobile, which means you need another instrument to watch the videos. You can't watch the videos on the same instrument where you have a financial calculator app. So either you should have a financial calculator with you for today's lecture, and if you don't have it, I've given you the financial calculator app ka link, and obviously it will be there on one of the mobile. So either you need to see the lecture on another mobile or another laptop. Advisable is to see the lectures on the laptop for better view and better discipline. All right, so that's introduction of Quants.